Hello everyone. Today, in this session, we will discuss about the overviews of the analysis phase. Okay, so first of all, see the introduction of the analysis phase. So, the analysis phase, or through using this analysis phase, we can get a precise, concise, and understandable and correct model of the real world. So, through this analysis phase, we can understand the requirement and the real world environment. So, the purpose of the object oriented analysis is it is used to model the real world system so that it can be really understood or it is understandable. So for to do this, the object oriented analysis, we must examine the requirement, we must analyze their implication and restate them rigorously. So it is a abstract important real world features, or we can say that this object oriented analysis, it is provides some features just like abstraction. Through this, it can first and differ the small details until the latter. So as we already discussed about the abstraction in the earlier lectures. So again, the purpose of the object oriented analysis, we can say that whenever we are completed the successful analysis model, so this analysis model, it can state that what must be done, and it doesn't restrict how it is to be done. So from this successful analysis model, we can say that we understand that what state, what must be done without restricting how it is done. And again, this analysis model, it avoid the implication decision, right? So this is the overview of the analysis process. So in this, you can see the user, developers, and the managers that are involved in a particular analysis process, analysis phase. So they can generate the request, and whenever they are generating the request, they state the problem statement, and through this problem statement, they can build a various models, that is the object model, dynamic model, and the functional model. Okay. So now see the importance of each model, that is the object, dynamic, and functional. So this importance of object, dynamic, and function model, it depends on the problem. So I already tell that from this problem statement, the particular models is being built. Okay, so now see the importance of each model, which depends on the problem. So almost all the problems, it have the useful object model, which is derived from the real world entities. So these problems, these are concerning interaction and timing, such as user interfaces and process control. So they have important dynamic models. Again, the problems which are containing the significant computation, such as compiler and engineering calculation, so they have an important function model. So in this, we can identify, so all the problems have a useful object models, which is derived from the real world entity. The problems which are concerning with the interaction and timing, so it is important in the dynamic model. The problems which are containing the significant computation, or it contains or it include the computation, so these problems are important in the function model. Okay, so this is that's why we are using this object, dynamic, and function model, and it really depends on the particular problem. Okay, now see, the analysis cannot always be carried out in the rigid sequence. So the large models, they are generally built up iteratively. So that's why analysis cannot always be carried out in a rigid sequence. So in this, we have to perform the iteration on the large model. So this is the reason for this. Now see, the analysis, it is not a mechanical process. So yes, it is not a mechanical process, because the analyst must always communicate with the requester to clarify the ambiguity and the misconceptions about the problems. Okay, that's why analysis, it is not a mechanical process. Now see the problem statement. So from this problem statement, we have just implement, or we have just build the different models. So the problem statement, it is generally state what is to be done and how, and not how is to be done. Okay, so this problem statement, it state only what is to be done and not how is to be done. So this problem scope, what is needed, application context, assumption, and performance need. So this problem statement state about the problem scope, what is the requirement, what is needed, what are the application context, what is the assumption, what is the performance which is needed. Again, this problem statement should be a statement of need, not a proposal for a solution. So problem statement, it is just a starting point for understanding the problem and not an immutable documents. Okay, so now see the task of the analyst in this analysis phase. So task of the analysis which is involved in this particular object oriented analysis. So this task uh, of a particular analysis is to resolve the ambiguity, incompleteness, and inconsistency. Again, the analyst separate the true requirement from the design and implementation decision, which is distinguished as per the requirement. Again, the analyst work with the requester to refine the requirement, so they represent the requested true intent. Okay, so this is the task, we can say that. So the analyst resolve the ambiguity, incompleteness, and inconsistency in your project. Again, he separate the two requirements from the design and implementation decision, which is distinguished as a requirement. Again, he work with the requester to refine the requirement, so they represent the what requested true intent. So this is the task. So this is the example of the problem statement. So in this you can see there are a central computer. So the various ATMs, it is connected with the central computer. So so this is the example of the problem statement. So through this problem statement we can understand what is needed, what is the application context, what is the assumption, and what is the performance need. Again, this problem statement, it shows the statement of need. So this is the example that we can consider in this problem statement for ATM. Right, now see the object modeling. So the object modeling, the introduction of the object modeling. So whenever we are identifying the problem statement, so we need to build the three models, that is the object model, second one is the dynamic model, and third one is the function model. So first of all, we are building this object model. So first of all, see the introduction of this object modeling. So this object model, it is precede the other model, because okay, so there are some reason why we are implementing the object model first. So this object model, it define the static structure, it is less dependent on the application detail, it is more stable as the solution is evolved, and it is easier for the human to understand. So this is the reason why we are just implementing the object model at the initial stage. Okay, so now see the second one thing about the object modeling. So the information for the object modeling comes from, so we have to remember from where the object model can get the information. So it is being the information for the object model, it is collected from the problem statement. It is the information that the expert knowledge, or it is the information which is coming from the expert knowledge of the application domain. It is the information which is related with the general knowledge of the real world. So from this, the information that is collected for the particular object model. So this object diagram, it generally promotes the communication between the computer professional and the application domain expert. So this is about the introduction. Again, in this we have to see the different we have to understand the different construction step in the object modeling that we are used. So in this there are 8 steps which are included in the as a object model construction step. So the first one step is identifying the object and classes. Second one step is prepare a data dictionary. Third one step is identify the association, and this association it include the aggregation between the object. Fourth one step is we need to identify the attributes of the object and link. Fifth one is after this we have to organize and simplify the object classes using the inheritance concept. After this word, the sixth one step is verify that assess path exit for likely queries. So if we have a queries, so we have to first of all verify the assess path. So there is no possibility of the queries between this or in this phase. Next one, seventh step in the object modeling in the construction of object modeling is iterate and refine the models. Okay, if any query is there, if any modification is required, so after verifying the assess part, we have to iterate and refine the model. And the last one construction step in the object modeling is the group classes into the model. So in this we have to group the classes into the model. So these are the 8 steps which are required in the object modeling, okay, or the designing of the object model. So in this again we have see the operations in the next one session, and this operation part, it is generally added to the classes later as a byproduct of whenever we are constructing the dynamic and functional model. So in this classes we can add the operations into it. So this is about the construction step of the object model, introduction of the object modeling, and the overview of the analysis phase. So thank you very much for watching.